space. Some regions are vast and empty, other areas we call closets. Fortunately, Kevin from the Container Store has answers.
Right.
Kevin, what gives you the power over space?
I'd say Elfa customizable closets. With free design and Elfa's adjustable shelving and drawers, I can create space in any size closet.
Kevin, master of space and closets.
Or just Kevin. Plus, right now, save 30% on Elfa and installation and earn up to $500 in credit through February 10th.
At the Container Store, where space comes from.
Where is that music coming from?
Blog Talk Radio.
Company, always on the run, a destiny, oh, it's the rising sun. I was born, a shotgun in my hands, behind the gun, all me.
Well, welcome to the Shooter's Rest Radio with Victor, Natalie, and our two special guests, Warren from 2 Alpha Friendly and Silkman from Second Amendment USA, on tonight.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having.
So we're going to kick this off with welcoming Natalie Numbers as our newest full-time co-host, partner, host, however you want to call her, because we all kind of all work the same way, to the air.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, how you doing?
And we're going to go ahead and kick this off, and I'm going to let Warren go ahead and introduce himself and let us know what he does and so forth.
Yeah, well, thanks. Appreciate the invite, and I listened to this radio show once before, and it's pretty cool. It's a good thing. My name is Warren, and I'm one of the developers for the app 2A Friendly, which is for the Second Amendment, of course. And basically, you know, we're gun enthusiasts, and we've been forum users for years, and just wanted a really, really good tool in the hands of gun owners, you know, just to give them a way to mark businesses as, you know, friendly to the Second Amendment. So, you know, this has kind of been done before, but we really haven't seen anything that's professionally developed and our best shot to do, you know, to create the best, I guess, you know, biggest and easiest to use database on where you can and can't carry, basically. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell.
Well, that sounds pretty good. Is it something that's been easy to put together, or how do you go about finding all that information?
Well, it's crowdsourced. So, you know, this is something that gun owners have on their smartphones, you know, Android or iPhone. And one thing we've learned about gun owners is, you know, a lot of them aren't really activists, but there's plenty of them who really do care. And gun owners, by far, I would say, are very law-abiding and really work hard to understand the laws, you know, because you've got to carry a gun and you don't want to get in trouble and you don't want to get busted. So, you know, we spend a lot of time researching these laws, and there's enough people interested in this and who care enough. It's really about caring. Who care enough to, you know, say, hey, this place down the street I like to go to is gun friendly, and you know, I know the guy likes guns and has guns, and you know, we hope that it will allow people to vote with their wallets in a sense. Gun owners kind of do that already, but we're trying to make a centralized tool that everybody can use together, you know, so all the information is basically shared. So, but yeah, as far as how do you put that together, well, it's it's like numbers and math and programming, so, and planning. So.
Awesome.
All right. And next we're going to introduce Silkman from Second Amendment USA on Facebook. Hey, Silkman, go ahead and introduce yourself and let us know what you do and why you created your page.
Well, Jay, again, thanks for having me. I definitely appreciate the opportunity to talk to your to your audience. Just a little bit about myself. I'm an Army vet, 8 years in. I grew up in inner city Philly, and I didn't really know that much about guns until I went in the Army, where I became comfortable, of course, using them time after time. But when I got out, I was living in Florida, and it seems like there's been an attack ever since the mid-'90s, the assault weapons ban, or the early '90s. There's been a constant assault on our Second Amendment. And I just remember at one point hearing a story in Jacksonville where I was living about a homeowner that used a gun to kill somebody that was attacking him and his family. And it was such little coverage, and I just remember thinking, every time somebody gets shot that's not supposed to, it's national media attention. Why is nobody sharing the information that we need to know about people using their weapons for self-defense? So back in 2009, I started Second Amendment page on Facebook. Again, it's Second Amendment USA, with the idea of just spreading the word of people that are using their Second Amendment rights the way they're supposed to be used, responsibly, for protecting their families, and just people that want to be left alone to own their guns and do the right things. I started sharing stories. Everything I could find by looking on the internet every morning at a bunch of different websites that I've put together, and it just kind of took off. I just started getting more and more hits, more and more followers, and it's not huge. It's not like an NRA website where I have millions of followers, but I have 40,000 plus likes now. Try as often as I can to print as many. To stay away from politics, you wind up getting sucked into politics. But now it's as much as possible sharing, self-defense gun use stories. Of course, sharing stories for people to know who to contact, the politicians to contact when there's bills coming up that they need to vote on that may be against gun rights issues or interests. And that's basically it. Is in a nutshell, is just trying to do my part and share the information on something I truly believe in. That we do have the right to keep and bear arms as our forefathers intended. As responsible gun owners, it's our responsibility not only to use our guns wisely and safely, but also to spread the word, to take people out that don't know anything about weapons. A gun is an intimidating thing if you know nothing about it except what you see on the mainstream media. But the onus is on gun users around the country to share the information, to share the training and the safety with their friends, with their loved ones, and to help them have the knowledge and abilities to protect themselves and their family from bad guys and the people that wish to do us harm.
That's awesome. So obviously, with the names of both of your pages, and the app for Two Alpha Friendly, very, very strong proponents of the Second Amendment, and probably follow the news, what's going on around the area an awful lot, and how things are progressing with our wonderful nation here. I guess there's a few things that are going on right now that we can call in and ask about, that have been brought up in the media recently. One is the fallout of Bloomberg's cronies. They seem to be ducking and covering and running. So,
it must be nice to just have so much money that you can just pick yourself a topic and commit millions and millions of dollars, even though it's something that's totally contrary to the way you live your life. This is a mayor who, has exceptions to travel out of country with his own armed security guards, where the rest of us, he just wants us to kind of, I guess use a stick to protect ourselves and our loved ones when he's, surrounded by 10 men packing, automatic weapons. It must be nice to have that much money.
Yeah.
I would be living large. My school would be gone.
You know, it brings in a lot of money, too, to create a lot of fear-mongering and get donations to support, you know, those kind of movements. And, you know, somehow it ends up not seeming to drain the resources on a useless move.
You know, what's funny, I'm not sure how much you guys pay attention to his the Doomsburg bus tour, but it seems like every city he stops in, reading off the names of terrorists and cop killers and other bad guys that were killed with weapons, trying to portray them as victims. Everywhere he goes, I was paying attention here in Nashville, they were outnumbered 2-1 by gun rights supporters, Second Amendment supporters. I was very proud here in Nashville. I'm not sure, for those that may not be familiar, there's a Tennessee resident named Nikki Gozer, whose husband was tragically killed by a stalker while they were in a bar running a karaoke show. They had to leave their weapons in their car because Tennessee at that point was not allowing weapons wherever they served alcohol. So she had no way to defend him or herself. Tragically, her husband was killed, but she has become a strong proponent of gun rights. As a matter of fact, she helped pass a law in Tennessee where you can carry a weapon in, as long as you have a permit, of course, a concealed weapon permit. You can carry into any facility that serves alcohol as long as you are not participating in consuming the alcohol, which makes absolute common sense. But she was there, and she was at the Doomsburg bus tour and confronted those people, and they just, you know, they have no response to someone that's actually lived what they're protesting about, someone that's actually had to use their gun in self-defense or was denied, in this case, using her gun to defend her loved one. So it's nice to see that people are coming out all across the country to the point where Bloomsburg had to take his bus tour schedule. They don't even post it on the internet till a day or two before so that nobody can organize against them.
Of course. Because they know they've got a losing argument, and it very much depends on an ignorant crowd.
Absolutely. They try to stack the deck.
Yeah. And the thing that I find the most insulting is the arrogance, just the arrogance of him. You know, he doesn't even realize that every culture is not like New York City. You know, New York City is not the world. It's not the United States. You know, the social mores of New York City do not apply, certainly here in Alabama, and I'm sure I can speak pretty freely for Tennessee and Georgia also. But that is totally oblivious to him, that he is going to take his New York worldview and ram it down our throats and create a problem or create a solution where a problem doesn't even exist down here. And I find that insulting.
Look, the fact that his solution isn't working so well in New York either.
Absolutely. Amen to that.
Well, I guess Chicago kind of figured it out.
We could go with a Chicago or Baltimore solution, too. That would work.
Oh, yeah. That works real good. Concealed carry in Illinois is now allowed. Well, coming up shortly once they figure out the laws to restrict it even more than it already is.
Yeah, I've been following that, too. I think they've still got many days and many months before they can actually do it. But, it's a step in the right direction. It's better than it was, for sure.
We're going to all watch the nation all rejoice in the fact that there won't be 2,670 murders, once there's people carrying. People will watch their back. People will stop being so stupid.
Yeah, I think even in Chicago, if Illinois does get this thing going, which they will eventually, I believe Chicago is going to put on their own restrictions and probably get away with it, because of the kind of guys they have running there. Again, you've got, Rahm Emanuel, who is kind of a mini dictator. He has a lot of the same characteristics as Bloomberg. And these guys are really, really, really have a big city under them, and they're very rich, and I think they're on a literal power trip. I think it's the very definition of being able to do whatever they want and make all kinds of